People who were there swear this story is true. Old gym corners still whisper about it decades later. Venice, Los Angeles. Early 1970s. The day 250 pounds of championship muscle stood in a worn boxing ring and said the words that would change everything. Hit me. Just hit me, and show me what precision really means. The smaller man hesitated, looked at him careful. Then in 3 precise beats, turned a skeptic into a student, turned confidence into curiosity. What happened in that ring wasn't just about who was stronger, it was about who understood power, about what happens when mass meets precision, when ego meets reality. Los Angeles, Venice, early 1970s. There's a gym most people will never see. Not the public showroom where tourists take photos. Not the famous spot everyone knows. This is invitation only. You need to know someone to even find the door. Behind a plain door down an alley. Inside concrete floor cracked in places. Brick walls with old fight posters peeling at edges. Exposed pipes. Harsh fluorescent lights hanging from chains. And in the center a boxing ring. Canvas stained dark with sweat from 10,000 rounds. Ropes wrapped in worn tape that's been replaced and replaced again. Corner posts that lean slightly from decades of fighters grabbing them. Ring aprons scuffed and faded. This ring has seen champions made and broken, has seen real violence and real skill. The canvas tells stories if you know how to read it. The air tastes like chalk dust, and old leather, and the kind of sweat that soaks into walls over decades. Metal clanging, weights dropping. Grunts of maximum effort, the sound of serious work. Maybe 20 people train here on any given day. Serious people. Men who move weight that would break most backs. Fighters with scar tissue around eyes and sharp awareness. People who know real from fake, who can smell bullshit from across the room. This is not a place for tourists or beginners. This is not a place for tourists or beginners. This is where professionals come to test themselves. Where reputations get made or destroyed. The bodybuilder owns this room. Everyone knows his name, even if they don't say it. 6'2", 250 of competition-ready muscle. Arms like most men's legs. Chest like armor plate. Thighs that strain against whatever fabric tries to contain them. The Austrian oak. Mr. Olympia. The name on magazine covers. The physique that stops people mid-sentence. He benches over 400 pounds for reps. Squats close to 800. His entire world measured in pounds. Moved and trophies collected. In inches gained and competitions won. He understands power as mass times leverage. As muscle fiber recruited and weight conquered. The martial artist enters quietly through the heavy door. 5'7", 135. Black training pants. Worn soft from use. Simple shirt. No flash. No announcement. Just presence. He moves like water finding gaps in stone. Every step purposeful. Efficient. Precise. To the bodybuilders lifting around the room, he looks small. Almost fragile. Like someone who wandered into the wrong building. Like he should be somewhere else. But some people here know better. Some have heard the stories. Franco is one. Shorter than the Okabet. Built like a fire hydrant. Dense. Powerful. He's training partner and friend. Been in the trenches together. He nudges his friend, nods, toward the martial artist. That's him. The guy everyone talks about. The one who's supposed to be different. The one they say moves like nobody else. The bodybuilder watches. Studies with analytical eyes. The martial artist warms up with movements that look almost childish compared to the iron being moved around him. Arm circles, hip rotations, leg swings, bodyweight work, while men around him press 300 pounds. Load plates onto barbells that bend under the weight. The contrast is stark, almost comical. Then the martial artist drops into 2-finger push-ups, not regular push-ups. 2 fingers per hand, index and middle only, supporting his entire body weight through 4 points of contact. Lowering smooth and controlled, pressing back up clean and explosive. Perfect form. 20 reps without strain. Switch hands. 20 more. His breathing doesn't even change. Like it's nothing. Like it's a warm-up. A few people stop moving, stop mid-rep, lower their weights. That's not normal. That's not something you see. That requires tendon strength most don't have. Requires neurological control that takes years to develop. Requires the ability to coordinate everything through minimal points of contact. Someone near the squat rack mutters to his partner. Did you see that? The martial artist moves to a heavy bag in the corner. Doesn't put on gloves. Doesn't wrap his hands. Just bare knuckles against leather. He starts hitting, straight punches. Fast but not rushed. Each one swings the bag hard. Makes the chain rattle at the top. But it's the sound that gets everyone's attention. Not the dull thud of a pushing strike. Sharp cracks, like a whip snapping. The crack of force that goes through the target, instead of just moving it. The sound of power transferred clean. The bodybuilder stands from his bench. Walks closer. Watches with professional interest. He's seen strong people. Powerlifters moving impossible weight. Olympic lifters clean and jerking hundreds of pounds. But this is different. This is strength expressed through precision, through control, not through external load. The martial artist finishes. Turns. Sees the massive man. Nods respect. The bodybuilder extends his hand. Arnold. The martial artist shakes it. Bruce. Arnold gestures at the bag. That was real power. Bruce nods. Thank you. Efficiency. Structure. Arnold crosses his arms. I generate power through mass, leverage, size. Bruce says different tools. Arnold says exactly. Then pauses. But I've always wondered, size versus speed. What actually wins? Bruce says it depends. Arnold says humor me. You versus someone my size. I've got 100 pounds on you. How does speed beat that? Bruce says speed alone doesn't. Precision does. Timing. Understanding structure. Arnold looks skeptical. I've trained with boxers. Fast guys. Don't hurt someone my size. I absorb it. Keep coming. Bruce says conventional striking. Yes, this is different. Targets specific points. Disruption, not accumulation. Arnold says sounds theoretical. Bruce says it is, until demonstrated. The room quieter now. People sensing something. Arnold says show me then. Bruce hesitates. I don't want to hurt you. Arnold laughs. Confident, not arrogant. I've been hit before. I can take it. Bruce says this is different. Arnold says prove it. There's a reason Bruce hesitated. What he's about to do will change how this man sees everything. Bruce studies him, then nods. All right. Not a punch. A kick. Your leg. Arnold almost smiles. My legs are my strongest part. I squat 800 pounds. Bruce says exactly. Good demonstration. Arnold steps into the ring. Plants his feet on the canvas. Spreads his stance. I'm ready. Bruce says, are you sure? Arnold says yes. Hit me. Bruce's face changes. Friendly curiosity gone. Replaced by something focused. Almost surgical. The room leans forward. Beat 1. Bruce shifts weight. No wind-up. No telegraph. His leg snaps out clean. Foot into Arnold's left quad. 8 inches above the knee. Right into the meat. Beat 2. The sound cracks through the room. Like wood hitting beef. Sharp. Wrong. Beat 3. Arnold's leg buckles. Not completely. He doesn't fall. But his knee gives. Gives in a way legs shouldn't give. His massive hands grab his thigh. His face shows shock. Complete confusion. Pain his brain can't place. Someone near the ropes takes a half step back. Then stops. The entire room frozen. No one breathing. 20 people watching a champion suddenly look vulnerable. Bruce steps away immediately. You okay? Arnold breathing hard. Not from effort, from something else. He tries weight on the leg. It holds barely, pronounced limp. Weakness that wasn't there 5 seconds ago. Like someone cut a wire in his thigh. Arnold says what the hell was that? Bruce says your quad has a nerve-dense spot. Precise strike disrupts the signal. Your leg didn't stop from damage. It stopped from neurological shutdown. Temporary. Arnold tries to walk. His leg dragging slightly. Says I can't feel my leg right. It's like it's not mine. Bruce says sensation returns in minutes. But you'll have a deep ache that lingers. Days maybe. The kind that reminds you. Franco and others gather at the ring apron. Franco asks if Arnold's all right. Arnold nods but still processing. Says that was nothing like anything I've felt. Bruce says I didn't use full force. Maybe a third. Full power could do serious damage. This was controlled, enough to prove the point. Arnold sits on the ring apron. Touches his thigh. Already feeling deep ache spreading. Says I've sparred with fighters. Taken real shots. Never anything that just shut me down like that. Bruce says conventional fighting is accumulation. Multiple strikes wearing you down. This is disruption. One strike. Maximum effect. Lou Ferrigno, standing nearby, big even here, looks at Bruce with new eyes. Says one kick, to him. Bruce nods quiet. But the part nobody expected was what came next. Arnold says how long until normal. Bruce says nerve disruption fades in 10 to 15 minutes. Deep tissue ache, maybe 3 to 5 days. Day 2 worst. Arnold sits back. Shakes his head. All my size. All my strength. One precise kick, and I can barely stand. Bruce sits next to him on the apron. You can stand. You can function. But that leg will teach you something. Arnold says, teach me what? Bruce says that size isn't the only power. That precision multiplies force. That understanding structure matters more than just having muscle. Franco asks, can you teach this? Bruce says yes, but it requires relearning what you think you know about strength. Arnold's analytical mind already working. Processing. Says so our training works against this. Bruce says, your training optimizes for one thing. Maximum weight. Maximum muscle. Valuable, but it teaches patterns. Gross movements. What I do requires fine control, sensitivity, feeling, and responding. Arnold's leg responding better now. He stands, tests it, still weak but functional. Says this changes what I thought I understood. Bruce says you understand one type of power. The visible type. There are others. Ed Corney, who's been watching quiet, says, can you teach us? Bruce looks at them. These massive men, champions. Actually curious, says I can teach principles, but you need humility. Need to accept size doesn't automatically equal fighting ability. Arnold says, after what just happened, I'm very ready to learn. Bruce says then, come to my school, Chinatown, Los Angeles. Wednesday and Friday evenings. Come Friday. We start with concepts, not techniques. Understanding. Arnold asks what's the difference. Bruce says techniques are movements. Understanding is knowing why they work when they adapt. Most learn techniques never understanding them. Understanding lets you respond to anything. Friday evening arrives. Arnold shows up. His quads still sore. Still reminding him. Franco with him. Few others from the gym. Bruce's school smaller than expected. Wooden floor, heavy bags. Equipment. Functional. No mirrors. No chrome. Just space. Bruce sees them. Smiles genuine. You came. Takes courage. Arnold says after what you did, I'm motivated. Bruce says good. Right foundation. He doesn't start with techniques. Starts with concepts. Explains force versus power. Force is mass times acceleration. You generate enormous force. But power is transfer efficiency. Putting it exactly where, when, how you want. Explains structural alignment. Body as kinetic chain. Power flows ground through feet, through legs, through hips, through torso, through limbs into target. Any break loses power. Any misalignment bleeds energy. Arnold takes notes. Approaches like studying anatomy. Breaking down. Systematic. Bruce explains neurological efficiency. Your muscles contract hard. Generate force. But fighting isn't maximum contraction. It's precise contraction at precise moments. Too much tension wrong places makes you slow. Rigid. Predictable. Over weeks they keep coming. The training. Humbling. Arnold realizes how much unnecessary tension he carries. Years of max effort lifting programmed constant tightness. Always flexed. Always ready to push. In fighting that tension makes him slow. Readable. One evening, Bruce stops Arnold mid-movement. You're telegraphing. Your shoulder rises before you punch. Arnold tries again. Focuses. Same thing. Bruce says you're used to lifting where setup doesn't matter. Fighting that telegraph gives everything away. Takes Arnold 3 weeks to stop that one telegraph. 3 weeks frustration, moving slower than he's moved since teenage years. Feeling clumsy despite being one of strongest men alive. Then, one night something clicks. Bruce demonstrates a drill. When I move you respond. Not with strength. Just move. Feel and move. Arnold tries. Thinks too much. Fails. Again. Overthinks. Misses. Again and again. Then attempts 16. Something happens. Bruce moves and Arnold's body responds before brain decides. Pure reaction. No thought, just response. Clean. Instant. Bruce smiles. First time in 20 minutes. That's it. That's the beginning. Arnold feels it. The difference. Like a door opening. Like discovering a sense he didn't know existed. Arnold's biggest weakness wasn't strength. It was the inability to move without announcing it first. Transformation happens over months. Arnold's still 250. Still looks like Mr. Olympia, but moves different. Lighter, faster, controlled. Like someone turned down muscle tension, turned up awareness. Learns to use size strategically, not as crutch, as one tool with technique, with timing, with understanding. Franco watches the change. Asks Arnold one day if it's worth it. All this relearning. Humility. Arnold says, I spent years building the biggest physique possible, now learning how to use it. Yeah, worth it. One day after training, Bruce says something important. When we first met, you asked me to hit you. You were confident. After I did, you came and learned, like beginner. Most people can't do that. Arnold says what you did forced me to see reality. Bruce says that's wisdom. Seeing reality even when it contradicts beliefs. Arnold asks why teach this. Bruce says I've been dismissed too. Too small. Too different. Could have used that moment for ego. Teaching helps everyone. Arnold sits with that, then says you think I'll teach others. Bruce says I know you will. You understand progression. Motivation. You'll integrate this and pass it forward. Later the trust shows on camera. In Rome. Ancient stones. The Colosseum watching. They move together for Way of the Dragon. The fight choreography. Tight. Precise. Trust visible in every movement. What started in that ring in Venice becomes cinema history. Two masters respecting each other's craft. Years pass. Arnold continues training. Becomes known as the bodybuilder who understands fighting. When asked, he tells about Bruce, about the moment in the ring. Some listen. Some train. When Bruce dies, Arnold goes to the funeral. Sees hundreds, all touched. All changed. Realizes he's part of something larger. Trains rest of his life. Not to compete. To understand. To honor the teaching. Passes principles forward. To bodybuilders. To actors. To anyone assuming size equals dominance. The ripple continues. That's what happened in that ring. Not just one lesson. A chain. Champions learning humility. Masters teaching masters. Here's what matters. Power comes in forms you can't always see. Precision beats size when it understands structure. Being willing to learn matters more than being right. Who have you dismissed because they don't look powerful by your standards? What assumptions about strength are you carrying? One moment in a ring can change everything. Subscribe for more stories like this.